Hey, my name is John, this is Tommy and Dan, and on behalf of the three of us, welcome to Mission Church Griddle Edition. Nice point. So yeah, we're excited about this year. This is our griddle edition. We're cooking on a Blackstone today. Last year was smoking a brisket, but we're switching it up.
We are.
Yeah. And right now as a church, we're in a series called Slow Down Summer. And we're excited about this teaching series to really help us not only understand the way of Jesus and how he lived, but then incorporate that into our own lives. And today is all about celebration.
Yes, it is.
And in many ways, this weekend is all about celebration. It's 4th of July weekend, so, you know.
Happy birthday, USA.
Hey, America.
America. And so we're doing what everyone's probably doing this weekend, standing around a grill or a smoker or, you know, a griddle. And griddles, they're very popular.
They are.
They are.
Just to say it all out, I typically work only with Weber products, but for you guys, I'm gonna adapt. I'm gonna go Blackstone. I've heard great things about these. They've been around for 20 years.
You feel conflicted, though.
I do. I like a little bit of guilt.
A little bit of guilt.
Yeah. But I'm gonna fight through it.
Thank you for being
For
flexible.
the sake of celebrating.
Thank you for being flexible. And I like that we're working with the griddle, because if you're a part of Mission, you know we've got our 3 Gs. We gather, grow, and go. And I vote maybe we add a 4th. We griddle.
Oh!
Let's gather, grow, go, and griddle. I think
with
that could
you.
work.
I'm with you.
You heard it here first.
I think that could work.
4th G. That's right. So we gather, we grow, we go, and today we're going to griddle.
griddle.
Tommy, I mean, all three of us cook a lot, but I think we'd probably give you the nod on the resident backyard chef.
Wow.
And so talk to us about the menu today. The expectations are high. Your brisket last year was really, really impressive and educational.
It was.
So talk to us about what's on the menu today, and we'll see what we got going.
Yeah, so chances are you're watching this perhaps during breakfast, so we thought, why don't we do breakfast food?
got
I
coffee?
think the griddle is best for breakfast. So here's what we're gonna do. I'll give you a rundown, and then we'll throw the first thing on. So the first thing that we're gonna throw on is a hash brown. We'll get to that in a second, but we're gonna do breakfast sandwiches. They're gonna have a nice brioche bun, egg, of course, that we'll do on the griddle, and then elk sausage.
Ooh, it's elevated.
From an elk harvested by someone at Mission Church, and we're gonna try some Gouda cheese on it.
Oh.
Press it down. We've got some bacon as kind of a dessert at the end, but can I show you guys hash browns?
Yeah, let's get it going.
So
Getting fancy this 4th of
let's
July
go here.
weekend.
Let's go hash browns on this side.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, good sizzle.
So you got these, did you hand grate these, or do you chop? What do you prefer to do when you're going with your hash?
I was hand grading this morning.
Yeah.
Out back.
Like most
In
mornings.
my quiet time with the Lord. Nope, picked these up. Only ingredient, 100% organic potato.
Thank you.
So very simple.
And we got some onion. What kind of onion? Is this just a normal yellow onion?
Just a sweet onion. And here's when you griddle, the best thing about griddling is it's so fun to like move stuff around. I would say in the case of hash browns, just let them sit and get that caramelization. So in a couple minutes, we'll come back and just flip these over. The only thing I'm gonna add here is just some salt and pepper.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
this griddle is actually, this is my mom and dad's griddle. So we just got into the griddle game in 2023, and I never really understood it, but I started cooking on this year in 2023, and I now understand the hype. After I cooked a bunch of different stuff, I texted Tommy, I'm like, bro, I get it now. And you're right, moving the stuff around,
It's fun.
it's fun.
Versus like a smoker, like last year, that just sat in the smoker. You can't even open the lid. This, you get to make noises.
We all want to be a
stuff.
hibachi chef. We all want to work at the Waffle House. This is the moment.
This is the moment
it.
you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
This is good. All right, so we're gonna do some hash. This is we're also making some breakfast sandwiches.
Yep.
The elk you talked about, and just to be clear, not from Elk Grove. All right,
Nope.
this is
Oh,
from
that's a good
Colorado.
point, yeah.
Just making sure
Wild caught.
We're clear on that. And we have some French press coffee. So we're kind of set up to celebrate.
We are.
To celebrate, and that's what we're talking about today. And we'll continue to talk about what we're cooking as we go along. But right now, as a teaching series, we're talking about 7 spiritual practices that will help you slow down this summer to experience all that God has for you. And practice is the key word. These are not 7 spiritual tasks that you just say, hey, I'm done with these. These are 7 spiritual practices that you and I practice over and over and over again. And the practice we're talking about today is the practice of celebration. And for some of you, when you hear that, you're like, wait, what? That counts? Yeah, it does count, because this is what we see in the life of Jesus. This is what we see really all throughout the Old Testament. They were a people that celebrated, and God actually told them, commanded them to place these different kind of celebrations all throughout the year, because they, like us, need to slow down. And they need it, and you and I need it. We need it. And so that's what celebration is all about. When you guys begin to think about celebration, what are some of the things that come to your mind?
Yeah, I think from a biblical perspective, I like to look at the teaching of Jesus. And you said this anchoring verses, it says, "Come to me." And it's interesting that Jesus' first miracle, if I were Jesus, if I wanted to come onto the scene and do a miracle, I probably would have done the walk on water one.
Yeah, that's
My close group of friends, they're definitely going to believe, but he chose his first miracle to be at a celebration, at a wedding where he turned water into wine. He often talked about the kingdom of God like a great banquet or like a feast, which I find very interesting. And in John 15, he says, "I say these things to you that you would have joy and that your joy would be complete." And what he's referring to is right before that is his teaching on the vine, the remain in me, which ties along great with the Matthew passage of like, "Come to me and you will receive what you need." So we just see it as a value in the life of Jesus, the places he went, the places he did miracles, and how he talked about the kingdom of God as a celebration.
Yeah,
it's
good.
interesting.
Yeah, Jesus, in the life of Jesus, he was always participating in celebration, and he was teaching people how to maximize moments to call out, this is what the kingdom of God is like. And so often we just like maybe consume a celebration or check it off the list, whether it's an anniversary or a birthday or whatever, but are we marking those moments like Jesus did to slow down and point out this is what the kingdom of God is like?
Yeah.
And so I love that we get to do this and help our people take advantage of that too.
Yeah, like I referenced last week in the part one of this teaching series, this incredible invitation from Jesus for every single one of us. We follow Jesus and have for a long time, but some of you are watching this that you're like, I just showed up to my buddy's backyard. I didn't realize there was going to be a talk on. I didn't realize this. No matter who you are, no matter what you might believe, every single one of us, I think, would agree that life, if we're not careful, can pass us right by. We can be in such a hurry to experience life that we end up missing life. And that's what the practice of celebration is all about. This is what we see Jesus in his life do. And this is certainly the invitation we see in really our anchor passage for this summer. Jesus says, "Come to me, all of you who are weary, burned out, exhausted, tired." And he says, "Watch how I do it. Learn from me." The NIV says, "Take my yoke upon you," meaning you're actually going to be linked up with me. You're going to be so close and proximate to me. You're going to see how I do life. This is what Jesus says. The Message translation says it this way: learn the unforced rhythms of grace. That's what Slow Down Summer is all about. Us as a church, and those of you that are just hanging out with us today, we're so glad you are, learning the unforced rhythms of grace. And it's something you can learn as we practice over and over again. And so this practice of celebration, it's something that we learn because culturally everyone celebrates, but that's a little bit different than the celebration that we're talking about. And so for us, our anchor verse today comes from Philippians. So let's talk about that real quick, short verse, but Philippians 4 verse 4 says this: "Rejoice in the Lord." And Paul says this: "I'll say it again, rejoice." And so the practice of celebration, those of you that are wondering, like, this doesn't sound biblical. Well, hold on a second. Rejoice in the Lord. Paul says, I'll say it again for those of you that don't like to have fun or stop working. I'll say it again, rejoice. And so this practice of celebration is all about you and I learning how to rejoice in the Lord, to slow down enough to see and experience and notice all the good things and God things in and around our lives. And so rejoicing is all about this. So let's...
Can I show you an unforced rhythm of grace?
Sure.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think we'll flip this. Let's see how it looks. Just kind of get in here. Should see some nice... Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
What's usually your all-in cook time on the hash?
Yeah, I like to start them, get the other things going, have these going in the background, and then even just take them off last. So 15, 20 minutes. I try to time it with whatever else I'm making. The kids love pancakes on Saturday morning.
Nice.
On the griddle. So I'll get, bacon and pancakes but yeah, 15, 20 minutes, depending on the heat.
This thing's kicking off some heat. I'm starting to sweat.
Yep.
What kind of oil did you put down? We didn't cover that.
Yeah, you can use any kind of oil. This isn't a health food show, but I would use avocado oil. It's good for you. Stay away from canola oil, people, all right? But that's not what we're here to talk about. But that's what I would use.
And it's so funny how fast we often move in our culture. You know, you said like, what, 15 minutes or so? I was like, man, with the little ones, I got to move faster than that. But we are slowing down.
That's right.
It takes time. Good things take time. It's why we're drinking the French press that we are.
That takes time.
Intelligentsia coffee. Now, for quantity, amount, because you like to drink with friends, coffee, of course, among other beverages. We're talking about coffee. For the quality and the quantity, French press is the best that I have found.
You love it.
Love it. And so, but it takes time.
Takes time.
And so if you're wondering French press, or you've seen that at TJ Maxx in the clearance aisle and the handle's half broken, but it's $5 and you're wondering, can I buy that and use it? You can. You can.
If you're a Rudo.
Here's how you can use it. You find whole bean. We're drinking Intelligentsia, 100% Arabican beans. You grind it, coarse grind, coarsest setting, okay? You just drop it in that French press. You got boiling water in a kettle to the side. So once you have your coarse ground beans, you pour the boiling water, and here's the key, just till it covers the top of the beans, and you wanna let it bloom. Don't fill it all the way up.
Interesting.
Around 60 seconds, good things take time. You'll see it bubbling, that's the CO2 gas releasing from the bean.
Okay.
So just let it bloom a minute, and then fill it up to the top of the French press and let it steep for 4 minutes.
There it is.
Once your 4-minute timer is off, plunge it and enjoy a great cup of coffee.
It's quite good.
I mean, it's how we drink our coffee in the Northwoods on our canoe adventure every year.
Slow down this
Slow
summer.
it down. So
While
slow
you guys watch me cook, that's what you guys do.
That's about right.
Don't speed through the Keurig.
So slow down
with the French
summer,
press.
the practice of celebration, and this is what we see in the life of Jesus. This is what we see commanded to us from the Word of God. Hey, rejoice. This wasn't a suggestion.
Yeah.
Rejoice. This is what we see in the nation of Israel, right? They had all these different celebrations throughout the calendar year to say, hey, slow down.
He commanded them to rest and party and remember.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want us to talk for a few minutes around what sabotages celebration for so many of us. And so celebration, this is what we see in the life of Jesus. We're commanded to do it, to celebrate, to slow down, and to notice, and to thank God. Rejoice in the Lord, all that He's doing. What sabotages celebration? There's a lot of different things, but 3 things we want to talk on today. We want to talk about how isolation is one of the ways that you can sabotage it. We want to talk about how evaluation, and then thirdly, anticipation. And so let's look at the first one. For those of you, and I think everyone will find themselves in one of these 3 camps, you're celebrating, but at the same time, you're isolating. And so, Tommy, talk to us a little bit around why that speaks to you as you put the elk patties on.
That's right. You could tell what I was about to do, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which, before you drop those, any pre-seasoning, or are we just...
So we've had this once up in the woods, and we didn't put anything on it, and it's well seasoned, so no.
Leave
But
good
great
enough
question.
alone. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, great question.
isolation and celebration.
Yeah. Let me just focus on this 1 second. Okay. Just gonna get a nice sear on those. Yeah, isolation. So if you guys know me, you know that my approach to a lot of things is less is more. And I can go so strong to the hoop on that even as I celebrate, my less is more leaves me with just me. Less is more. And so for me, like I am cerebral. I do reflect, I do celebrate with God, but I tend to do it alone. What I've realized as I've thought about this is there's a big difference between inviting people to celebrate and inviting people into your celebration. And a lot of times I'll do stuff like this and I'll invite people over, but I've been thinking about who are the people in my life who have just walked with me through the season of life that I just finished. And perhaps you're thinking about the season of life that you've just finished. And I'm thinking about how you guys and our team have walked with me and we've walked through a season together. I think about the season my family just walked through. What do I need to be doing this summer, in this season? Yes, to have my times alone with God, where I do isolate with Him, but I don't stay isolated. I come out of isolation and I bring those people in and I invite them into the celebration. I think the reason that I need to do this is I need to, if I'm glorifying God and praising Him through what He brought me into, I need to give the people in my life the same opportunity to give God the same glory, the same gratitude, the same thanksgiving. So that's my tendency. Some of you, if you're introverted like me, you could probably relate that you celebrate in isolation. I would just challenge you, bring the people that have walked with you into your celebration. That's what I would say.
Good.
Yeah. Should we check? What do you think? Ready to flip? Should have a nice sear. Oh, look at that.
Dude, well done.
Beautiful. All right, so we're talking about celebrate but isolate, and there's a lot of people that I think resonate with where Tommy's at, and that can be his gravitational pull, and yet you're learning that that sabotages celebration, inviting others in to celebrate and rejoice in the Lord always and what God's doing. The second one is celebrate but evaluate. This would be the second sabotage. Talk to us about that, Dan.
Yeah, so for me, what sabotages celebration is evaluation. Maybe you're kind of wired like me, like I see everything, I feel everything that's happening around me, I hear everything, I just like notice all of it. And what can happen is I get so distracted and caught up in the evaluation that I miss out on the entire experience of the celebration. And so this happened kind of recently. You know, it's graduation season. Many of you just graduated, high schoolers or college students, and our family just celebrated Elliot, our little 4-year-old's preschool graduation.
Milestone.
Yeah, it's a milestone moment. And so there's a lot of opportunity to evaluate that experience.
A lot going on.
Yeah, so there we were, and we're Rudas, so we got a lot of families to watch and evaluate.
The alphabet.
Yeah, and I see it all, and I hear it all, and I feel it all. I'm seeing the parents have their one moment to get the perfect picture, and they're scrolling through filter, 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 filter. Put your chin up, Johnny. Uncross your arms, cross your arms. These stupid fluorescent lights in the gym. I'm just seeing all of it. I'm seeing the teacher be like, don't do anything stupid, kid. I'm seeing the school administrator like, move this along. We have another graduation in 30 minutes. Each parent just goes up and has their one center stage moment with their kid. And my evaluation needed to cease. Otherwise, I wouldn't experience the celebration.
Yeah.
And so I made sure that Elliot's eyes saw my eyes, not the lens of a device first. I made sure that her ears heard my voice, like, way to go, we're proud of you. I made sure her smile met my smile. And then after that happened, I got a couple of grainy pictures and she moved on her way. And part of me needed to deal with like, well, am I gonna not get the dad award of the year because I have a couple of crappy grainy photos for our family and not Insta-worthy family photos for the world? But this evaluation just crushes the celebration. And so if you're wired like that, I just want to give you 2 pro tips. The first one is recognize like it does start with the heart. A lot of people think that I just like think about stuff, or people wired like us. It starts with the heart. I feel what people are feeling. And so if you're married to somebody like that, just give them some credit and grace. It starts with the heart. And then second, you can't turn it off. Like people are like, stop it. You can't turn off evaluating, but you can turn it around. And so here's what's helped me.
That's good, Dan.
And I'll say this slow. Allow your evaluation, because you can't turn it off, to check your motivation and guide you back to celebration.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh, that's good. Say that again.
Allow your evaluation to check your motivation and guide you back to celebration. All right, so when you get your kid's birthday cake and the icing's green and it was supposed to be blue, and your mother-in-law is gonna let you know she notices it and you notice it, allow that evaluation to check your motivation. What's the point of this part?
That's right.
Is this going to reflect and look bad on me? And does that really matter?
That's good.
And let that guide you back to the celebration.
That's good, man.
It's for your child's birthday party. You're setting the table for family and friends. And God is doing a new thing and He has plans for the day. So allow your evaluation to check your motivation and guide you back towards celebration. So that's been helping me slow down.
That's super helpful.
Yeah.
All right, so we're closing in on it. Tommy, bring us up to speed. The hash is just about done.
Yeah, I just turned this heat off because these are just staying warm. This is really close. We'll kill this heat in a second. While Dan was talking, I got the eggs started. Dan and Grace, they got me these little discs here for my birthday this spring. So this egg's finishing up, and when this is all done, then we'll toast the buns here in a minute. Melt some cheese, that'll be fun. We'll dome it here, so we'll do that here in just a few minutes.
We're closing in on it.
Yep, we're close.
And so today's teaching is all around the practice of celebration. Rejoice in the Lord always. I'll say it again, rejoice. And one of the ways that we do this is by practicing. That's the emphasis, practice, and it takes practice. Being in the right now. Being in the right now, celebrating who God is and what God is doing. There's things that will sabotage your celebration. We've talked about isolation as well as evaluation. Dan just shared about that. I want to finish this up with the one that I struggle with the most. At times I struggle with the first one, not as much. At times I do struggle with that one, but the one that I struggle with the most is anticipation. So celebration, but anticipation. And what I mean by that is I can be in a moment like this, celebrating, and the three of us do a lot of different things together. And as I'm here, I'm also in another place.
Yep.
I'm celebrating here at the same time I'm anticipating there. And some of you are wired up like me. Perhaps you're more futurists or visionaries or just easily distracted. And that sabotages celebration.
Yeah.
One of my favorite verses, there's a couple of them. One is Psalm 46:10 that says, "Be still and know that I am God."
Yep.
Another translation says, "Let striving cease." And some of you are wired up like me. I'm a striver. I'm always moving. I'm always looking towards what's next. Another great verse I know the three of us love is from the Old Testament in Isaiah 43 that God says to his people, "Hey, behold, behold, I'm doing a new thing.
Yeah.
Do not see it."
Yep.
Do you perceive it?
And when I celebrate but anticipate, what I'm doing in that moment is I am more focused on what's next instead of what's now.
Yeah.
And it sabotages the good work and God work that is happening.
Yeah.
It's what's going on right now in that moment. And so for me, as I practice celebration, I have to, and it takes practice, and I don't always get it right, but I have to say to John, be here.
Yeah.
You've probably even heard me say this to you guys before. When we're doing something like this, I'll be like, "Hey, I'm here. We're here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here. We're here.
what you
Let's
do.
be here," because I need to practice that. And so this is all around saying, all right, tomorrow's going to take care of itself. I'm going to be here right now celebrating this moment. I'm going to behold it. I'm going to see it. I'm going to thank God for it. I'm going to let striving cease. I'm going to practice the discipline of celebration. All right, so as we're bringing this to a close, let's check back in on the food. It's time to get the bread ready.
Yep.
We're going to involve the dome
Yeah, we're gonna
pretty soon.
We're gonna melt some cheese here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tear open these unsliced brioche buns. Look at that. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I haven't done anything.
It's slow down summer.
I
You
have
gotta-
the towel.
You gotta cut.
I have the
bun
towel,
yourself.
but I've done
All right,
nothing.
so
Slow
we're
down.
gonna get this fired.
We add a little bit more oil for the bread, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Is this an avocado oil? What is this?
Yeah,
Is that what I heard?
Yeah, avocado oil.
Obviously.
Okay.
Obviously.
Obviously. I
It's one
can
of our
tell. I just wanted to
sponsors.
involve
Yeah.
the viewers.
One of our sponsors. Yeah, so we'll toast these up. Okay, this
Okay.
stuff over here is warming, and then what we're gonna do here in just a second is we're gonna melt some cheese here and just
The dome,
We're
which is
gonna
going to
get
be
out the-
awesome.
we're
So
gonna get out
before
the dome, yeah.
before we do this, you guys are watching this. Perhaps you're with friends right now, driveway, backyard, or you're driving to work, or you're working out at the gym. Really important to ask you the question of those three things that sabotage celebration. Which one did you need to hear about today? Maybe it's the isolation, perhaps it's evaluation, or like me, it's the anticipation. What if you were to invite a friend into that? Like right now, you could send them the link of this video. You could reach out to them, call them, text them, whatever, and just say, "Hey, I want to practice this thing this summer. I want to practice celebrating." Set up a date, get it on the calendar. God's people practice it every week, by the way, called the Sabbath. But get a date on the calendar, practice it, get excited about it. Think about what you're going to cook, think about what you're going to drink. And when you get there, talk about what we're talking about right now. Share with that friend of yours one of those three kind of sabotages. And let's just see how you and I and us together as a church can practice celebration. I think it's so important for us to get better, and you get better as you practice.
Yep.
Yeah, and what I heard as the three of us were talking, as you celebrate in an intentional way, like for me as isolate, it's about people. So if you're like me, think about who do I need to invite into it. For Dan, it was heart. So it's all about purpose. Like, why am I celebrating? And that will help him remove the evaluation. And for you, it's all about presence, which is why you say when we start things,
Yep.
you're like, we're here. And when we get to camp, you're like, we're here. And even when we got here today, we're here. And so maybe it's people, maybe it's purpose, and maybe for you, it is
Being present.
presence. That's
Yeah.
what I heard as y'all were, just kind of talking.
That's
All right, we got
good.
some
Look at this.
toasted.
And we're going to dome it.
Yeah, let's do this. Should we do this right
Oh, I'm
here?
so excited to eat.
All right, so here's what we'll do.
This is the sleeper star here,
Dan,
the dome.
if you want to get
it comes off the
get
bench,
that-
but it puts up
get
big
that
points.
cheese, Dan.
Yep.
We'll throw these eggs on.
Yep. Okay. So.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and then we'll place the sausage.
Oh.
Boom. Right there. And then what we'll do.
It's a good. It's a
Yeah,
good
go ahead and
height.
throw it on
It's
too
a
if
good
you want.
height.
Okay.
I got some Prilosec in the truck.
Yeah, you're gonna need it. Okay. So we'll get these together here.
Oh.
All right. So you can use ice cubes, or you want to just create some steam, just to get the stuff melted. I just use just a little bit of water here. Okay. Okay, we'll just dome that. All right, let's see how this cheese has, oh, look at that.
Beauty.
Melted. Even a little skirt,
Look at
cheese
that.
skirt
Is it,
for
this
me.
is cheddar, right?
Yeah, we went with a cheddar from Donna Renee Peacock's kitchen, actually.
Oh, perfect.
All
DRP
right,
getting
so
involved.
we just give these a little, okay.
Amazing.
Let's get these on here.
That with the cheddar skirt.
Who's ready to absolutely burn
The roof.
the roof of your mouth? No, these are gonna be great.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. So, how should we do this? We're thinking one bite.
Everyone knows the rules.
All right, let's go.
So hey, real quick, next Sunday, 9, 10:30, 12, the series continues. All right, we want to see you there. We'd love to see you there. Slow Down Summer, week 3 is next Sunday. Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Let's
boys.
celebrate.
Thank you for cooking.